PGA European Tour is brought to you by Volvo.
Hello and a very warm welcome from me, Warren Humphreys, as we look down the ninth fairway in the beautiful island green at Gut Kaden in Hamburg, scene of the final round of the Deutsche Bank Open, the Tournament Players Championship of Europe. Well, leading the field after 3 rounds at 12 under par is Miguel Angel Martin, the 34-year-old from Madrid, given a tip at the beginning of the week from Seve Ballesteros, and nearly holding his tee shot here yesterday on the 16th, on his way to his third successive 68. Winner of the French Open in 1992, can he win again? Well, tied with the Spaniard from Northern Ireland, Darren Clarke. This birdie on the 15th helped him to a third round, 67. He's also won in Europe, but can he win again? Behind him, the golfing heavyweights, Montgomery. He had a 69 yesterday. Seve a 66, and Frank Nobilo from New Zealand, well, he's at 10 under par. And it was Nobilo who set the early pace at the start of round 4, 4 birdies and an eagle at the third. In the first 8 holes, put him 2 ahead of Montgomery, but the Scot parried with 3 birdies in his first 4 holes, with another on the 7th to draw level at 16 under par, and those two were moving well ahead of the pack. Well, up ahead on 18, Bernard Langer, a man really fancied to do well in this tournament, blew his chances yesterday really with a 74, and a fairly steady round for Bernard today. Going to have that short putt for a 68. He'll finish at 10 under. It helps take the bitter taste out of the mouth, but it was not what he wanted. He was looking for a good performance this week. Not really played too well in Europe. His best finish so far was 12th. A man also going along pretty nicely, Peter Mitchell, 69, 70, 71, his first 3 rounds. And that on the last hole was for a 65. So a short tap-in putt for Peter Mitchell. Get him to 12 under. And that will certainly be, well, this is going to be his best finish of the year. And playing with him, Francesco Ferreira. Just a short putt on the last for him to be round in 66, so quite a scoring birdie blitz from these two players. Valera's best finish in Europe so far this year, a 25th place in Dubai. So he's going to feature very nicely at the end of today's play. We go back down to where it's all happening. Colin Montgomery on the 10th. Birdie attempts and a chance to get the lead. Oh my word. Well, Nobilo and Montgomery are really tearing the course apart this afternoon, and it's really been a topsy-turvy round for the pair of them. One of them taking the lead and then jostling back to the other. Montgomery now just ahead by 1 from Nobilo, and you can see Mitchell in the clubhouse at 13 under following his fine round. And Wayne Riley also going along pretty nicely at 13 under. Nobilo on the 15th. Actually gone through the match of Seve Ballesteros. Seve making a 7 on the 3rd, hitting it out of bounds, so they're getting into a little bit of trouble. Nobilo and his partner, Jimenez, playing through. Oh, and getting a lot of spin on there. I think he hit it slightly harder than he wanted. He's not probably quite sure how close that is. He was a little bit lackluster yesterday, Nobilo, but he's really on top form today as Jamie Spence comes down the last. Oh, and a terrific shot from Spence. Started the day at 9 under, 12 under at the moment, and that will get him, I think we can give him that one. Little tap in to get to 13 under, so he'll tie Peter Mitchell in the clubhouse. Bit of break left to right. Oh, stayed pretty straight. Almost came back the other way. And suddenly, Nobilo, who was quite cold yesterday with the putter, warmed it up a treat. He now and Montgomery tied at 16 under. They're 3 clear of Peter Mitchell. And a whole bunch of players at 12 under: Valera, Riley, Ames, Spence, McGinley and Hooson. Well, yesterday on this hole, Nobilo pulled the tee shot way left into the bunker. Just a 7-iron, played slightly uphill. And another cracking shot. He's hit so many good iron shots today. Really has been right on the button. Having said that, he did hit a pretty wicked shot here on the 14th, and Nobilo dropped a shot here. And well, you can see the lie that Colin Montgomery's got, so he's in a spot of bother as well, and that's really sitting down and against the grain of the grass. And a tough shot coming out of the bank. Players hate these. They never know quite how they're going to pop out. He's got to hit it hard enough to carry the bank. He can't leave it short, but if he's just a little bit heavy with the club, of course it pops out, shoots across the green. Phil Mickelson would lay the blade wide open on this one and almost play it like a sand iron, but if you get it a little bit sharp and a little bit steep on the way down, well, then you can really shoot it across the green. So tough shot for Monty. And that's always the danger. He just got sharp at it, but problem caused through the tee shot. Not a particularly long hole this for the players on 1,481 yards. So we go up to the other par 3, 16th. Jimenez in the right-hand bunker, and that's also a little bit clumsy. Retief Hooson playing pretty steady today, but nothing really happening, and it's quite difficult to kind of get your round going when your playing partner goes off with blazer fireworks, 3 birdies in the first 4. And here's a man that we thought we might get some fireworks from, Ballesteros. Not to be. Had a good round yesterday, bogey free. Started out with a couple of pars and then took a disastrous 7. And he's got it back a little bit. He's trying to keep the disasters off the card. He looks fit, looks lean, wants to play well. And he is getting better week by week. He's just dragged it away into the left-hand semi, but that's actually not too bad. It does open the green up and it opens the flag up. You certainly don't want to be away to the right. It's a much more difficult third shot from there, so he really didn't miss that by much, even though he is in the rough. Now this is quite an important putt for Colin. Having got into the lead, Nobilo got it back. He doesn't want to get behind. All of 18 feet. Well, he gave it a chance. His goal this year was to be more aggressive in winning situations, and he was certainly aggressive there. And he's got a little bit of work to do to finish out here. I mentioned before earlier this week that he tried a different putter in every round in the Volvo PGA Championship, and he's out with a different one this week, one with a little bit more loft, and seems to be helping. Jimenez for a par on the 16th. As Colin taps in on the 14th, that was for a bogey, so he now goes 1 behind. And going into a finish here at Gut Kaden with 2 par 5s in the last 4, so chances to make up the damage. But of course this man has hit it close on 16. And this now to go into a lead by 2, even though he doesn't know it. Brilliantly holed. So Nobilo in the driving seat here in this Deutsche Bank Open. Now leads by 2 at 17 under. Gomery 2 shots back. Mitchell in the clubhouse, tied with Spence. So it looks to be a 2-horse race. We're going to take a commercial break. Rejoin us for more golf in just a moment. Welcome back to the final round of the Deutsche Bank Open. This is the Tournament Players Championship. And Frank Nobilo going for his 6th win in Europe. As he gives it a fair old clout. Down the 17th and just finding the left-hand semi, but no real problems there. Good flowing swing from Retief Hoosen. Now Monty, well, news will have got to him by now, I'm sure, that he's 2 back, so... Whew, yes, didn't spare the horses with that one. And it's a tough 2-shot of this 15th. It's not really reachable in 2. He'll try and get as close as he can. Must make a birdie here. So important to keep in touch. He doesn't want Nobilo to get too far away. As Seve on the 15th. Recovered after that disastrous start, now 1 under for his round. So, not letting it get to him as in previous weeks, really fighting back. And an awkward little chip this for Seve. He's got quite a bit of semi-rough to go over. But also a fair bit of green to work with, and I'm sure that if he's got any sort of lie at all, he'll be fancying this one. He's the sort of fellow that fancies it from about 150 yards out. Yes, it's not the easiest of lies. Look, the grass is growing against him, and always makes it a little bit more difficult. The ball seems to pop up out of those. Easier when you've got the grain going with you. The blade of the sand iron goes through the grass a little bit easier, and that just stopped the momentum of the club in the impact area. That's why Seve's short. Paul McGinley on the 18th, and he holds out for a 69. Remains at 12 under, so another good performance for him. 25th in the Volvo rankings this year with 79,000, 7th in the Heineken Classic, second event of the year. So another good performance for Paul. And Jimenez not really been on top form this week. Hit a couple of wicked shots out the neck. But being the competitor he is, still giving himself chances. And he's given that a fair old belt, because I didn't think he could get quite that close to 17, and he won't mind being in that front bunker really. So many of the players this week have been laying up quite a bit short of there. Now Seve on 15, this to save par. No. And he goes back to level par, and one would have to say the greens here at Gut Kaden pretty good for the type of winter and spring they've had. There was still snow lying around just a month ago, so the tour have done pretty well to get it in good shape, but every now and again the ball's turned rather strangely on the green. No problem where that one's gone. Rifle straight. Just didn't quite get it in the gap. It was right on line to the flagstick. Just a fraction further left, and that was on the green, and he knows it. And that might really have buttoned things up. Well, let's take a look at the hole that Colin Montgomery's playing at the moment, the 15th. 566 yards, a slight dogleg left. He's carried that bunker on the left-hand side. That's 255 yards off the tee. The hole then turns half left. Those bushes on the left just going out of your screen now, they're in play. The players have to play over those. Avoid these bunkers on the right-hand side. You don't want to tangle with that area. You really want to come in from the left because the pin is cut behind that bunker on the right-hand edge of the green, and there's quite a steep slope from right to left. So you can see Colin aiming down the left-hand side. That's where he wants it to finish, but that's not where he started it. Oh no, and that's exactly where you don't want to be. Well, he's got a really tough shot from there, and it's made even tougher by the fact that he's in the semi-rough. He's not even on the fairway. So position Z there for Montgomery. And position Z minus for Retief Hoosen because he's missed it right and in the bunker. So really tough shot. Needs to clip it clean. Just getting a bit of sand blown back into his face. But, well, he's got it on the green, but you could see he couldn't attack the flagstick. That was the best he could do. And he won the South African Open in 1995, so he has won, yet to win in Europe. Second a couple of times, though. Second in Dubai in 93 and the Portuguese Open in 94. So it can't be long before Hoosen is up there. Mind you, this man's won over 50 times in Europe. 72 worldwide, and he would dearly love to win another. Well, that ball in the bunker there on the front of 17th for Nobilo is not too injurious for him, but you can see the flag just cut at the top of a little ridge. So really he needs to try and give this a lot of air to get it up to the flag. Just stay behind it, and he's played it beautifully. Well, he's hardly put a foot wrong all day, Frank Nobilo. Yesterday, as I keep saying, he really didn't get anything going for him at, well, online. Birdie on 17, birdie at the last to tie Russell Clayton's course record. Oh, brilliant shot. Well, quite brilliant shot from Colin Montgomery. I was saying how tough that shot was, and he made it look incredibly easy. In fact, he's almost done the impossible there because he stopped it short of the hole. So, excellent bit of control. Jimenez, very similar shot to Nobilo. Nearly the same result, just a little bit further away for the Spanish player. So, no birdie for Seve on 16. Darren Clark started at 12 under. Oh, and that's a good putt there. Keeps him level par for today. And keeps him in touch with those players in the clubhouse at 13 under. Just the one bogey, one birdie. No real fireworks. Well, he's going to have his work cut out to get down into from there is Retief Hoosen. Long swinging putt. Difficult for the players to judge the green or the pace on the greens this week. A little bit nappy, fraction bumpy. But that's perfect. Jimenez, birdie attempt, 17. No, sir. Jimenez, who finished second to Colin Montgomery in Dubai. He's 6 in the Benson and Hedges in the gale force wins at the Oxfordshire. Putting in another good, steady performance. But this man today, red hot. Last year, Bernard Langer won this event with 270, 18 under par. And in fact, by 6 shots from Jamie Spence. And Frank Nobilo has this putt here on 17 to get to 18 under. Well, no holding him back. And that is the girlfriend of Frank Nobilo, and I would say that she is a little bit excited at this moment in time, and underneath that very cool exterior, I can assure you so is Frank Nobilo. Monty, beautifully done, and that's a good reply, and he's done that all day long. And it's 2 behind Nobilo, and he knows now, probably having a quick look at the leaderboard, that if Nobilo pars the last, he's got to have 2 birdies over the last 2 holes to tie. And Colin Montgomery has done that over the last 2 days. But can he do it when he really needs it? And will this man actually make a par, or might he even make a birdie? Obviously enjoys playing in Germany, won the BMW International Open here, this country last year. One of the 2 victories he had. He won the Saracen World Open Championship as well. It was turning out to be a slow start to the season for him. Could all be swept aside if he can just finish well here down this last hole. Oh, well, that's a cool nerve. He obviously heard someone hit off a nearby fairway just away from him, got to the top of the backswing and, well, still managed to stop. So obviously well in control of his nerves. Big swinging dogleg this, right to left. You hit it over some trees. Bunkers at 250 yards. And he stayed well behind it. Really got up the back of the ball. Crowd love it, and look at that. Well, that is huge. And, well, that just gives you a sign that you can't hit that far unless you're well pumped up. So the heart's beat going a little bit faster than the average 72 beats a minute. It's probably up near a couple of hundred. I don't think Bidwell likes that too much. And, oh, by the way he was looking at it, I think he may have pulled that away into the left-hand rough. It's not where you want to be. It's quite thick down that side. Now, Colin. Need a good shot. Well, he hit a good shot too, and wasn't really far away from the right line. It's just gone on a little bit further, and this hole played slightly uphill. Players can't quite see the bottom of the flagstick. Pin in a fairly generous position in the centre of the green, but it's at the bottom of the middle plateau, and Colin will have a downhill at just down the top tier, so not a particularly easy putt coming up for him. Latif. Best finish this year so far, 11th in the Spanish Open. And a lovely shot. Oh, I wonder what Montgomery would have given for that. Well, who knows? Things pretty exciting here. It's certainly a 2-horse race. Nobilo leads the field by 2. Can Montgomery catch him up. We'll take another short break, rejoin us, and let's find out. Welcome back to the final round, the Deutsche Bank Open, the Tournament Players' Championship of Europe, a 5-year exemption to the winner. And down the last hole, Jimenez from the left-hand rough, not the place that you want to be. The pin cut away on that left-hand side. He's got to bring it over the bunker. And the way he went through that obviously had a pretty good lie. And just able to carry the trap. And back down the fairway. That's the shot that's facing Nobilo. Now he's hit it so far down here, he's only got a short iron, can't be much more than an 8 iron. And not too much wind. But when the adrenaline's pumping, you're going for a win. Just got to think one shot at a time. Needs to aim it in the centre of the green. Let's keep behind it. Oh, doesn't like it. And he almost decelerated through there and just turned on it a little bit, just came across the line, and he did that quite a bit yesterday. Almost takes it a little bit steep on the outside, just gets the body to rotate a little bit too soon, and that drags away to the left. Monty, you can see coming down the plateau here on 16. Just now it goes down the slope. And he never really read that right. Either that or he didn't quite set it off on the way he wanted to. Well, all sorts of body thrown at that shot there through the impact area by Seve. His balance every now and again this week has looked exemplary, but not there. Put that sort of swing on it when he popped it out of bounds on the third today. At least he's not listening to other people now, just himself. Let's hope it stays that way, and let's hope his form stays that way. Jimenez on the last long birdie attempt. Because he's off the green, allowed to keep the flag in. If he was on the green, he would have had to have had that attended by the caddy. Going to give him something to do to make par. Monty on 17. Now we know this green is nigh unreachable in 2. And he's done the first part splendidly. Little chip for Nobilo. Must get it close. Oh, close, it might be in. Oh, well, that's quite brilliant. He's held his nerve so well all day, and every time he's been asked the question, Frank Nobilo has come up with the answer. Lovely little chip there on the 18th green. And I think now he can begin to relax. Maybe not completely, because he knows Monty can catch him. At least the main part of his work today is done. Seve's a little chip on the 17th. Oh, my word, I thought that was in as well. Lovely to see him play those shots around the green. Now, Jimenez has blown hot and cold with the putter this year. Sometimes it's good, sometimes not so good. Has the heel of the putter in the air, wrist very well arched. And that an untidy one. So 8 under and a round of 73 for Jimenez, but that is a fantastic round of golf for Frank Nobilo. A 64 in the last round, and you can't ask for much more than that. A tremendous round of applause by this gallery here on the 18th at Gut Kaden, and they know a great round of golf when they've seen one. And he certainly deserves all of that today. So Nobilo in the clubhouse for the last round of 64, 270. That asks the question for Montgomery. He needs 2 birdies on the last 2 holes to tie. He's on the fairway on 17. Can he do it? Rejoin us in just a moment. Well, there are some people out here that can keep cool in all this excitement here in the final round of the Deutsche Bank. As Seve puts on the 17th, just ahead of Colin Montgomery, and that's a good birdie. So once again today, 1 under par for his round. He's not going to win, but at least he's put a good score together after a bad start. Monty, oh, he hit a marvellous driver to win in Dubai. Needs a good shot here.
So hard.
Oh, I think he tried to hit that. You could probably hear they try to hit it so hard that he's slightly mistimed that, and that's not really where he wanted to go because it's a long way back. I think he shoved the body into that one. Never got the club head into it. And if I thought he had a tough one on 15, well, he's got a real tough third coming up on 17. There you can see 4 birdies on the outward half, a couple on the inward, and it's just that drop shot on the 14th costing him dear. And the Volvo PGA champion last week, Costantino Rocca, finishing up on the 18th. 72, 68, 67 level par for his round today, and Rocca looking like he's going to finish with a 72. Montgomery looking to see ball well above his feet and out of that rough. You can say wants it to sit up, but I think it's sitting down, and if that is the case on a lie like that, normally you'd pull the ball away to the left. Certainly would tend to move that way. That's going to give it a little bit more top spin, if you like, and it's the last thing he needs. You see, just couldn't get the grip with it, had it on line, couldn't risk leaving it short in the bunker. But he knows. And I think he'd be disappointed with the second shot there, not the third. The third he's played pretty good from a bad position. But it was the second shot there that was errant on 17. And here is Costantino on the last hole. I'd already given him this one. I hope I'm not ahead of myself. No, I'm not. There we are. So a pretty good performance from Costantino after his win. I'm sure he's suffering a little bit of anticlimax. I'm sure he's still celebrating. Seve on the last. That's a little bit better rhythm. Sometimes when he tries to hit the ball too hard, he really gets the stomach in a bit early, and the club head doesn't have a chance to catch up. And he blocks it away to the right, but this is the putt of the moment. This is a must putt for Colin Montgomery. If he doesn't hold this, then he'll be forced to try and make a 2 down the last, and there aren't too many of those when you need them. Last couple of days he's hit it into quite a short range, but it's all of 25, 30 feet. And it tried to come back at the end, and it was always a little bit short, and it never really looked like the right line. Still, what they say about the old fat lady, it's never over, or something like that. Darren Clark on the 16th. Yes, sir. Oh. So things are starting to happen a little bit for Darren. That gets him into a tie with a couple of other players at 13 under. One of those being Latif Hoosen. Well, there's a lot of money in this event. £725,000, and at the top end, when you start playing with this sort of money on day 4, those sorts of putts are very expensive. Well, not much wrong with that swing. Good balance, good posture at the address, free-flowing swing, and he's annoyed it's not gone on. But the large galleries now here, this Gut Kaden course, this Deutsche Bank event, course in fact owned by the Deutsche Bank, a course that got into a little bit of financial troubles a few years ago, and the Deutsche Bank took it over, and they've run it since, and proving to be quite successful at it as well. Hoosen just dipping the shoulder in through the impact area. Nice wide backswing, the takeaway. Sometimes lets it collapse just a little bit through the ball and can move ahead of it, but that's on the fairway. Opened up the green too on that right hand side. Made it fractionally longer, but it's in good shape. Well, he won't have given up hope. He knows that to try and make a 2 on this last hole, the first job he's got to do is hit the fairway.
Yeah, good shot, Mike.
And by the shouts, a good shot. There it is. Slap bang in the middle of the fairway, so the first part of his job is done. But he needs to hold that down the last to tie Frank Nobilo in the clubhouse at 270. 4 players now at 13 under: Mitchell, Spence, Goosen and Clark. Can Montgomery do it? Rejoin us in just a moment. The final green at the Gut Kaden golf course. This is the final round of the Deutsche Bank Open, and on the 18th, Seve Ballesteros. And this to be round in 70 for Seve. Shot 70 the first day, 70 on day 2 when he dropped 3 in the last 4. A bogey-free round yesterday for 66. But today he's back to a double bogey and a bogey, a few birdies. Drop shot on the back 9 on a par 5. Still he has this for a 70. Well, not to be, he'll tap in for a 71. And that will give him an 11 under, joint 12th place. Good back 9 when you consider he had a 6 on it back in 33, 3 under. So just goes to show you the fighting spirit is still there.
Keep going.
Mike Harwood in a little bit of trouble here. Needs to hold this for 5. .68, 69, 69 the first 3 rounds for Harwood. But that will be a 73 on the last day 279. And a little bit expensive. You can see the black scores there, 5 drop shots. And you can't afford to do that on payday. First to play on the 18th. St. Oh, yeah, looks to be trying to cut that one in. I'm not sure that's the right shape for the last hole. And he's dragged it away down the left-hand side. Good natural drawer of the ball is Retief. So playing his usual game there down the last. Now Monty, you can see he's in a good shape, clear view of the flag. He's got to be picturing this going in the hole. And this is 1 in a million. He's got the 8 iron. There's a few people that have held their second shots to win. I know Robert Gammers did in the States a few years back. And it's online. Oh, it's right on line, but it's 10 or 12 feet short. So we can say safely now that Frank Nobilo is this year's winner of the Deutsche Bank Open. Darren Clark, I fear, is too far back for him to catch up. Well, a perfect lie there, and he really laid into it, but I think that's gone away way right. Yeah, it's touch of Seve country over there. And if he can birdie the 17th, he'd get away from the logjam at 13 under. Houston needs to get up and down in 2 to stay at 13, or pop this one in. And didn't really go on quite the way he would like. So Monty, a pro to the end, trying really hard to hold this. He knows that he won't really make any difference. He is not going to win, but it will get him a shot closer to Frank Nobilo. Oh, and he's done it. Oh, well, what might have been if he had not bogeyed the 14th, or even had that chance for a birdie on 17 go in. He made the birdie at the last, but it's just 1 shot shy. And Montgomery finishes at 7 under. A very brave performance indeed, and an excellent round of 66. It's hard to ask for much more than that. You have to say that Frank Nobilo won it. A brave putt there on the last for Retief Houston. He taps in for a round of 70 and 13 under. So joins Jamie Spence and Peter Mitchell in the clubhouse. Russell Claydon's out there at 13 under, and for Miguel Angel Martin, well, he's got this for a par on the 17th. 3 rounds of 68, but nothing really going right for him today. No birdies at all. And another shot gone. So disappearing very rapidly down the leaderboard. Very expensive round of golf. It's probably not helped Darren Clarke's task, but he's played a good chip from the right-hand side. So Clarke gets to 14 under. So he now in third place all on his own. And I think that caption is wrong. Coming out of the bunker at 18, that's Gary Orr, and oh, what a lovely way to finish that would have been for Gary. That would have got him round in level par today. So he'll have that short one to tap in for a 73. He ties Langer and Per Hawksrud at 278. And he'll pick up a good check of around about £10,000. So another good week for Gary, following his good performance last week in the PGA. 7th he finished there, so 7th and 10th. Playing with Robert Allenby. Just one shot adrift on the first day. Allenby with a 66, shot 70 and 69. Oh, and a good putt hold there on the last. So that's a 71 for Allenby, and more importantly, that ties him with Wayne Riley, Francisco Varela, Stephen Ames and Paul McGinley. So, useful check for him. But the £120,000 will go to Frank Nobilo. Certainly the £80,000 to Colin Montgomery. And Colin not going to win, but that second place will earn him and move up the Volvo rankings from 6th to 3rd. And now he'll just be just £32,000 behind the Volvo rankings leader Ian Woosnam. Martin on the last stat for a 74, and that's the story of the day, and we all know about days like that when things go wrong. It's not just one wheel that comes off, it's all of them. So Martin not able to buy a putt today. 75 for him. Three bogeys, no birdies, and he'll tie 10 other players for a share of 18th place. Well, all Clarke needs to do is 2-putt from here. He's assured of 3rd on his own. He's going to take them as well. No made any difference if he'd hold that. So Darren Clarke taps in for a last round of 70, 274, 14 under par. And that'll be a big check for him, £45,000. And he'll be delighted with that. Just checking with the scoreboard there. Yes, he did make a 4 at the last. And that's a round of 70 for him. So Frank Nobilo wins the Deutsche Bank Open, Tournament Players Championship of Europe, with a final score of 18 under par, 270. Colin Montgomery 1 shot behind, a very brave round of 66. Peter Mitchell, Jamie Spence going along very nicely, and nearly good for Seve Ballesteros, but not quite. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our 4 days coverage on Eurosport for the Deutsche Bank tournament. From me, Warren Humphreys, it's congratulations to once again to Frank Nobilo, winner of the 1996 Deutsche Bank Open, the Tournament Players Champion of Europe.
The PGA European Tour was brought to you by Volvo.